So you probably use Python lists all the time, right? They're everywhere. But what if I told you there was a better, safer, and sometimes even faster way to store your data? It's time we had a serious talk about tuples. Let's dive into this powerful data structure and see why choosing it can be one of the smartest little moves you make in your code.
Okay, before we even write a single line of code, let's just cut right to the chase. Here's the absolute core of it all. Lists are changeable. You can add things, remove things, switch things around, whatever you want. Tuples? They're not. Once you make a tuple, it is locked in, set in stone. And honestly, that one single difference is the key to understanding everything else about them.
Now, given how fundamental that difference is, you might be surprised to find out just how similar tuples and lists really are. It really helps to think of a tuple not as some weird alien thing, but more like a list's very close cousin, a cousin with one very strict, very important rule. In fact, when you're just starting out with them, they feel almost identical. Your data stays in the sequence you put it in, so they're ordered. You can grab any element using those familiar square brackets, like my tuple 0, because they're indexed. And yeah, you can have the same value pop up multiple times. It all sounds exactly like a list, doesn't it?
And when you lay them out side by side like this, the similarities are just striking. Ordered? Yep, for both. Indexed? Check. Allows duplicates? You bet. The only, and I mean only, place they diverge is right on that final line, mutability. Lists are built to be changed. Tuples are built to be constant.
All right, now that we know what they are, let's get our hands dirty and actually make one. The syntax is super simple, but as we're about to see, there are a couple of little nuances that can totally trip you up if you're not paying attention. The way you'll see most often is with parentheses. Where you'd use square brackets for a list, you just swap them out for parentheses to wrap up your elements. It's a subtle but really critical difference that tells Python exactly what you're trying to do. But here's a fun little fact about Python. Those parentheses, they're actually optional. What really defines a tuple are the commas. As long as you have comma-separated values, Python just knows, that's a tuple. The parentheses are really just there to make it look clean and readable. The commas are the true signal. All right, so knowing that commas are the secret ingredient, here's a little pop quiz for you. We know that multiplying a tuple like 1, 2 by 2 gives you 1, 2, 1, 2. So what happens when you just have one number inside those parentheses? What do you think 4 times 2 is going to give you? And the answer is 8, not the tuple 4, 4. So why is that? Well, because there's no comma, Python just sees standard mathematical grouping. It's not thinking tuple at all. It just sees the number 4, multiplies it by 2, and gives you the integer 8. So to create a tuple with just one element, what's often called a singleton, you absolutely must add a trailing comma. That comma is the explicit signal to Python that says, hey, I'm for real creating a tuple here, not just grouping a number. It's a tiny little detail, but trust me, it's one of the most common spots where people get tripped up. Okay, so we've really hammered home that tuples are unchangeable. But that really begs the question, why on earth would you want a data structure that you can't modify? Well, it turns out there are some seriously powerful reasons. And just to be crystal clear what we mean by immutable, once that tuple is created, its state is fixed. You can't append a new value, you can't get rid of an old one, and you can't change an element at a certain spot. It is a constant. Now, this limitation might seem restrictive, but it comes with some huge advantages. See, because Python knows a tuple's size and contents will never, ever change, it can pull off some clever optimizations. This means tuples are generally more memory efficient and faster to access than lists. And maybe the most important reason, they act as a safeguard. Think about GPS coordinates or RGB color values, data that represents a fixed thing. Using a tuple guarantees that data can't be accidentally changed somewhere else in your program. I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes the whole idea click. A list is a dynamic, collaborative whiteboard. You can write on it, you can erase things, you can add more information. But a tuple is a final contract, signed in permanent ink. It's a record that is not meant to be altered. Now, unchangeable does not mean unusable. You can't modify an existing tuple, but you can always use it as a building block to create a new one. So for instance, you could take a tuple of 1, 2 and another of 3, 4 and stick them together to create a brand new tuple, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The original tuples, they're still there, completely untouched, which preserves that core idea of immutability.
Okay, let's wrap this up by looking at how tuples show up in the real world. In fact, you've probably already used one of their most elegant features without even realizing it, in this neat little trick called tuple assignment. If you have ever written a line of code that looks like this, assigning multiple variables at once, you have used tuple assignment. It's also called parallel assignment, and it's just a wonderfully clean and, Pythonic way to get variables set up.
So what's actually happening under the hood here? It's beautiful, really. Python implicitly creates a tuple of variables on the left side, that's the xy. Then it creates a tuple of values on the right, the 10, 20. And then it just matches them up one by one. First value to the first variable, second to the second, and so on. Simple as that. This one feature leads to some incredibly readable and elegant code. For example, instead of needing a clunky temporary variable to swap two values, you can just write x comma y equals y comma x. Done. Or when you're looping through a list of paired data, you can unpack the pairs directly into two loop variables. It's just a powerful and efficient part of the language, and it's all thanks to tuples.
So here's what I want you to do. The next time you're about to create a list, just pause for half a second and ask yourself one question. Does this collection of data ever need to be modified? If the answer is no, then a tuple might just be the smarter, safer, and more efficient choice. It's such a small change in your code that can make a really big difference.